That was the You Wouldn't Steal a DVD music. Because you wouldn't steal a joke, or would you? What are you all doing here? Oh my God. Mommy! No, all right. Let's just get over and done with. Right. Oh, my favorite part's when it's over. So, I don't like dogs. Leeann, are you really going to start off your solo show by alienating the entire audience? Yes. I'm going to win you back, don't worry. And in the same way that not everybody that you fall out with is a narcissist. Except when it happens to me. Not everyone that doesn't like dogs is a monster. Do we have any other dog haters in?
Yeah! Whoa!
That never happens!
What the fuck?
On the lesbians? Yes! And like, usually what happens is nobody says yes to that, and someone comes up to me afterwards and goes, I really hate dogs, but I was really scared to say anything. We are few, but we are strong. And just to clarify, I don't actually really hate dogs, I just don't really agree with their existence. I don't really think they should exist. They used to be proud wolves roaming the forest, and now they shiver in rich ladies' handbags. Oh, Leeann, you live alone, no dog would keep you company. Right, Brenda, why do you have all those sores all over your face? All right, because my dog eats its own shit and I kiss him on the mouth and now I'm on antibiotics. You really, really need to get one? No, I'm good. This all goes back to eugenics. Because purebred means inbred. It's something nature loves punishing us for. And in the middle of the 19th century, a lot of rich people got together and decided to play God to see who could make the most banjacks dogs. And now we've got golden retrievers, half of which die of cancer. We've got Great Danes that hearts are too small to support their body. And we've got bulldogs whose noses are so squished that they can't breathe properly. They're so cute. But by far, I think the worst abomination has to be pugs. They really should not exist. Have you seen them? And this is completely true. This is not an urban myth. When I was younger, my friend's dad used to breed pugs. And the mother pug gave birth to a little son who was even more deformed than a regular pug. So much so, I know, I feel sorry for them.
It's people that breed them.
I know, we've got an animal rights activist in the audience. We'll have a wee talk afterwards just to fact check everything. She gave birth to a little deformed pug boy. What? Oh, puppies. Right, I forgot. That wasn't planned. I actually forgot the word for little pug boy. And his poor little tongue was permanently stuck out like this all the time, so much so that in the summertime, when he would lie out in the grass, his wee tongue would get sunburned. You have to get one, they're adorable. So then the mother mated with the son, because pugs. And he came home one night to find her in labour after she'd given birth to one. So cute. And she was really struggling and he didn't really know what to do for her. He tried to give her water, he tried to give her food, she didn't want anything. So he took her to the vet, and the vet did a scan on her. And sure enough, the rest of the litter was in there. Not still in there. In there. As in she had given birth to them, eaten them, and she was too full up to eat the last one. But they're so cute. I don't really get it. I used to think that all canine-human dynamics were inherently unequal. I'm not really sure if I believe that anymore. I used to always think the dog was the victim. And I don't think I believe that anymore either. Because some people are scared of their dogs in a way that hits a wee bit too close to home. Michelle, it's only 9, why are you heading home? Oh, well, like, if I'm not home one time, he just pees on the carpet or, like, tears up the couch or he just, like, destroys all my favourite things. But it's my fault. It's my fault for leaving him. If you want someone fucking stinking to control your life, just get a boyfriend. Sorry, cheap shot. Speaking of segues, I was at a festival last summer. Did you like that? That's the dog hating part over. Check. And it was the first festival I'd been to in a long time, and it was the first one I ever done single. There was no one there to ruin my good time. All my friends were getting into fights with their partners and I was just having a good time. It was really weird. Didn't feel right. It was also the very first festival I did sober. Mushrooms don't count. And I've been sober for 1.5 years now. Is anyone else here sober? It's okay, isn't it? It's not class, but it's all right. And it's not that hard for me. It wasn't really that hard for me, but for me personally, the most difficult thing about being sober is it's probably just being better than everybody else. It's lonely out here for a hero. No, that's not true. For me, the hardest thing about being sober is talking to drunk people. I have no idea how I ever did it. Dear Lord, I think the hangover was from those conversations and not the alcohol. This one woman accosted me, held me hostage, I would say, at a festival to try to tell me where she got her scarf from for half an hour. She got it from her niece, that's all I needed to say. But no, she kept telling me how she was way too fat for her niece's clothes. She was half the size of me, and how can you be too fat for a scarf? I don't think that her weight was what she needed to be worrying about. I'll never get that half hour back. At one stage, I was talking to 2 different high priestesses, each called Magdalena, and sort of met through me. And one of them said, "You're a high priestess called Magdalena who worships goddess Céilí?" "I am high priestess called Magdalena who worships goddess Céilí." "What are the chances?" Look around, it's like, it's pretty high, actually. I met a witch while I was at the festival. Has anyone ever met a witch? No, you haven't. They don't exist. Come on. Shut up. I have a problem with a lot of witches because they usually describe themselves as radically empathic, but never radically empathic enough to know that you don't want to have this conversation. It's funny that. And when the universe gives them signs, it's never like to help genocide. It's always that their partner's cheating on them. Spiritualism is getting everything you want. People who walk around festivals in their bare feet, get a personality, please. It's not nature. You're walking around a sea of dead vapes and empty cans and disposable phone chargers. Do you remember those? They were really big a few years ago. I think they've since outlawed them, but they were about this size. And they were disposable phone chargers, and you needed 3 of them to charge your phone with. It was disgusting. And there would just be seas and seas, fields of them covered in this. And I thought, oh my God, it's like we couldn't hate Mother Nature anymore. Maybe someone would care if it was called Father Nature. Hello, am I right? I think I said nature instead of nature. I definitely did. I also am pretty sure I stole that joke. I'm sorry. I do think if they want to make festivals better, they should make them over 25s. No harm to anyone younger, but fuck you. Look, it's not their fault. It's too much for them. They save up for the entire summer, working at McDonald's, saving up for this best weekend ever. And the rest of us know there's no such thing as best weekend ever. The most you're going to get is, it didn't rain on the Sunday. And it's really hard for them, and they decide, you know what, I'm going to get drunk for the first time. I'm going to take acid for the first time in a pop-up city of 80,000 strangers. And then you meet one of these poor little teenagers and they're like, "Do you know where my friends are?" "Sweetheart, I don't even know where I am, but I hope you're still alive tomorrow." I really think that festivals, instead of having festival volunteers, they should have festival mammies. And instead of high vises, they'd wear like bright pink cardigans. And you could alert them when you see one of these. Also, they'd be paid living wage. What a radical idea. This is just going to turn into an up the worker speech for them. Give me money. Yeah, so you'd alert one of these women when you see one of these poor unfortunate souls. You'd be like, "Over there." "Sorry, love, what's wrong?" "I just think I'm a bad person, and I think all my friends hate me." "You're just in a K-hole. Have a cup of tea and stop being a milk. Okay? All right, go to bed. Stop being a wanker." The only reason that younger people annoy me is probably because I was such an annoying young person. And now I'm in my 30s, 32 to be exact, upper rat. And Sorry, I just had to get on once. I was so cheap. And as well as witches, people in their 20s love to call themselves empaths too. And I don't really trust anyone that calls himself an empath because I think it's code for nightmare. It's a wee bit like when you go for a job interview and the guy says, we're one big happy family here. Translation, I'm going to get you to work late, not pay you overtime. So I'm an empath. And I think someone in this room is really sad, and I can just feel it because I like take on other people's energies. And I'm sorry I fucked your dad, but I was trying to cheer him up because I'm an empath. And I just find conflict so difficult. That's basically what life is, but okay. I ran into a friend of mine recently. She's 23 years old, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I said, what's new with you? She said, well, I'm finally getting round to writing my memoirs. For who? Who's going to read that? I love you, and I'm not going to read that. I wouldn't even read my own autobiography, and I'm a narcissist. I know I'm young, but I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives. Okay, well, you haven't. You are not Malala. Congrats on laughing at that, because lots of people don't get it. Some people watch the fucking news. And she's lovely, but she's privileged in a way she doesn't understand. It's like, what are you going to write about? That time you couldn't pay rent so your parents did? Inspiring. The time your holiday flights got cancelled because of COVID restrictions? Heart-wrenching. I know, the time you got held back in first class because you couldn't say milk properly. Oh no, wait, that was me. Milk? Everyone else in my reading group hated me. We live in a time where getting a mental health appointment is rarer than a father taking care of his own weans without calling it babysitting. That was the controversial thing? Okay. I think I'm going to kill myself and I don't really know who else to call or who else to turn to. And have you tried having a glass of water or going for a walk? Or do you know app Headspace? Okay, bye. So it's no wonder that my entire generation has taken to diagnose themselves with mental disorders off TikTok. And don't get me wrong, the state of mental health in this country and in most countries is pretty terrible. People feel like they have nowhere else to turn to. And I can appreciate the sense of camaraderie that people get from sharing this stuff online. But it's all gone a bit far. Do you hate the feeling of wet jeans when you come in from the rain? You have ADHD? I do, but that's not why. A friend of mine told me that he thinks he has PTSD because he exhibits symptoms of destructive behaviour. And I said, okay, let's talk about it. What sort of symptoms? Well, Leanne, when I'm anxious, I peel the labels off beer bottles. It's not that you spent all of your rent money on weed and now you're getting evicted. Or that you take copious amounts of unprescribed Valium. And the thing is, I've known this fella years and he definitely does have PTSD, but the fact that he does label origami when he's out the pub's not going to be the reason why. Do you feel afraid of the world? Are you anxious all the time? Are you worried about the future? Do you find it difficult to manage close personal relationships? Do you have a problem with alcohol? Did something bad happen to you when you were a child? Because you might be just like everybody else. Look, and I think it's great that we're all becoming more aware of all the different types of brains in the world, that we're becoming more aware of each other's needs and by extension our own, that hopefully you'll do a better job of raising your kids than your parents did, and your kids will do a better job than you did. And on it'll go until the last human draws their last breath. But don't tell me I have autism because I couldn't cry during Lion King. Oh my God, our generation's so messed up. Have you talked to our parents? All of our dads were molested. Okay, but that got the laugh. Okay. And when I was a child, I feel like a lot of the advice adults gave me was about flashers. Does anyone remember this? Because nobody really flashes anymore. It's quite vintage, like a lost art. Everything was, don't go hitchhiking, someone's going to flash. You don't cross the road by yourself, someone's going to flash. You don't leave the house, you're going to get flashed. And I was in the car with my aunt recently. She still lives in the same village in Donegal that she grew up in. And being in the car with her is like going on a pedos tour of the town. She said, see that man over there? He was wild for flashing back in the day. See that man over there? He used to flash me on the way to school and then when I was earlier on the way to work. And see that man over there? He just got out of prison in England for footering wee wains. Footer. How is that the word that we use for the worst crime a person can commit? Fitter sounds like you're giving your dog a wee pet. Have you ever heard your grandparents talk to you about their trauma? No, and you won't, because they have that shit locked up tight. You're never going to find out that your granddad had a second family in France because Papa took a lot of secrets to the grave. And when my grandmother was alive, she didn't like to talk about the past. And she definitely didn't think it was polite to talk about yourself. And I asked her one time, Granny, what sort of birthday presents did you get when you were younger? She said, birthday? I got a boiled egg when I was 10. Just the most East Donegal, give birth to 24 kids, smoked a pack of John Player a day, never learned how to drive, absolute icon of response. And you know, she lived through the troubles, as did our parents, as did we. Kind of, sort of, not really. Like, I understand transgenerational trauma as a thing. Like, my pain is valid, your pain is valid, everyone's feelings are valid. There's not a single person in this room that has not been affected by the troubles in some sort of a way. That being said, I do not want to listen to an 18-year-old wee fella from Glenties rap about the troubles. Oh, all the bullets and the bombs out in the street. You have a swimming pool outside your house. Shut up. I get really frustrated that astrology seems to be back in. I thought we left that behind in the early 2000s. And I feel so bad because all my besties are astrology girlies. Apart from my other bestie that's not... You don't like astrology, right? And you hate prawns. I love you. Astrology... I don't want to sit in the front row. It might make you nervous. Right, you're not even... You're not here. This isn't about you. Anyway. But astrology seems to be just something people blame terrible behaviour on. Of course he cheated on you. He's a Gemini. Like, what did you even expect? Just me standing over the body of a man I've just killed. I'm so sorry, you guys, but like my Venus isn't rising, Mercury's in retrograde, so like, oopsies. When's it gonna be Leo season? My cousin was staying with me last summer and she wasn't having a very good time. Her father died. 2 weeks later, her dog died. At the end of the summer, her partner broke up with her, so she was getting it a wee bit tight. And not to judge, but I'm totally judging. Instead of going to talk to a counsellor, she decided she was going to take ketamine every day for a month, and she lived with me at the time, and this really happened. Do we have any ketamine heads in? Liars. I don't know if you guys have lived with anyone who regularly takes ketamine, but there's a lot of contacting the dead and microwaving plastic. And it's just a lot for a Tuesday when you're trying to write an email. So I didn't really know what to do for her, and I came down on one of the nights after she finished crying, and I said, you know, I really love you. I really care about you. But I don't think you've even begun to process what's happening to you. And she just looked outside, looked back at me and said, I don't know why I keep crying. I think it's because there's a full moon. Okay, it's not that your dad, dog, and relationship all died in the space of 2.5 months. I really wish everyone my own age would stop blaming the full moon on their problems and go to therapy. I'm also kind of nostalgic for the time when you were allowed to sort of call people stupid, and you're not really, you know, it's really died now, and people say things like, everyone's smart in their own way. Have you met everyone? I don't think that's true. I also think, I mean, if you're smart and someone else is not, I don't think that means you're better than them, but, you know, let's stop lying. When I was a child, and for all of my life, I've always been very bad at sports, running, anything like that. And no one ever said to me, Leeann, everyone's athletic in their own way. Because that doesn't make any fucking sense. I think people need to lean into things that they're bad at more. Like, being bad at sports was half my personality for all of my life. Like, if I was bad at math, well, I'm not bad at math because I'm smart, but is anyone here bad at math? You, what's your name? My name is Zoe and I'm bad at math. You should be proud of that. Say it.
My name is Zoe and I'm bad at math.
Give her a round of applause. Why do we think we have to be good at everything? We're not. I probably should start running, but I'm not going to do that. People like to pathologize very ordinary behavior as well. I think especially when you've been romantically rejected, people say things to you like, he was just intimidated by a strong, independent woman. You're like, I eat out-of-date ham once a week, but okay. Sure. It couldn't possibly be that he just doesn't like me back. No. It has to be a whole Pentagon-level conspiracy. I think by far my favourite one is, women, we are terrible for this. I think he just liked you too much. That's not a thing, and it never will be. Oh, my fellow Delulu girls in the crowd. I was going through a really bad breakup a good few years ago. And it was, you know, the sort of breakup where you don't really know who you are anymore. You're crying on public transport when the Dirty Dancing soundtrack comes on. I've never even seen the film. But I did have the time of my life. But obviously you don't. People don't break up for no reason. Anyway. So I decided I was going to go to America for a month, spend all my savings. And I did have some fun while I was there, but I mostly hated it. And you're not really allowed to say that about any other country in the world. You can't go to Nepal for a month, come back and be like, I fucking hate Nepal, no Nepalese people. And their smelly food. Whoa. It's very culturally insensitive. But for some reason, we can slag Americans and it's grand. And it's probably because we grew up with very negative stereotypes about Americans that, you know, they're loud, obnoxious, annoying. Turns out they're all true. Their food's pretty woeful. It's the only country in the world where a salad could give you a heart attack. We were driving through West Virginia and the entire state just looks dehydrated. Nothing but grey, decrepit faces everywhere. It looked like no one had a glass of water or vegetables since the 70s. And I don't know if that's less to do with the diet and more to do with the opioids, because America has a pretty bad opioid crisis. There's a lot of people on heroin, there's a lot of people on meth. But by far, the worst problem they have is with prescription drugs. And when I was there, it felt like everyone was speaking a language I didn't understand. Hey, Leeann, do you have any benzos? Just have a cup of coffee, you spoon. What? I take Vicodin for my back pain, Semestral for my cholesterol, Zestril for my hypertension, and Adderall just for fun. Adderall is a prescription drug for people on ADHD, but other people take it recreationally, you know, when they have to stay up and study, clean, walk, because it's a Tuesday at night. Not that much, like I wish there was a pill to make them shut up. And Americans don't really have a sense of humour. And I know that sounds a bit harsh because they've been so soft up till now. But most of them don't get sarcasm, so this was pretty much wasted. They seem to start every single sentence with the phrase, I just feel like, what? What do you feel like? Do you feel anything? I just feel like wardrobes used to be bigger. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that. And I don't feel bad for ragging on Americans because the things that they say about Irish people. Oh my God, you guys are such big drinkers. You don't sound like you're from Ireland. I'm so sorry I'm not the alcoholic leprechaun that you needed me to be. Do you think we still live in the 80s or something here? I was in Ireland like 2 years ago and I couldn't find oregano anywhere. Did you go to Tesco's? We literally have everything and healthcare. Just because you couldn't find it at a filling station in Burt doesn't mean we don't have it. I didn't really know how to end that bit, so I'm just going to do an impression of everybody's mum. Okay. That never happened. Thank you. Speaking of mothers, these segues are just like poo, poo, poo. Has anyone read the Britney Spears autobiography / listened to the audiobook? Okay, cool. It's the first time. Every single other times I just shout heathens at the audience for not doing it. It was a New York Times bestseller in the first week it was out. There's a very interesting part of the book where Britney Spears is having an at-home abortion because she's at the height of her fame and they don't want anyone else to know. And she's still with Justin Timberlake at the time. And she's in a lot of pain, huddled over on the bathroom floor. And he decides that this would be a good time to come in and strum the acoustic guitar at her. No! As if that woman hadn't suffered enough. And look, I do not speak on behalf of all women, even though I am on the council, but I will say that if I'm ever having an at-home abortion and you start strumming a wagon wheel to me, I will shoot you in the face. You will be the second abortion happening that day. And inspired by that or not inspired by that, I'm not sure, but this was around the time I joined a lot of dating apps. Is anyone here else on the dating apps? It's rough out there. Is anyone else here in a monogamous relationship? Is anyone else here in a monogamous relationship and on the apps? I've fucking seen ya. I'm not going to lie, it's really, really rough out there. I'll give you an example. John, 61 years old, recently divorced. That's absolutely fine. Some people are divorced. That's not the joke. Some people are recently divorced. Some people are 61. Looking for woman, aged 18 to 25. Wait. No drama, please. Bitch, how are you coming out here trying to fuck teenagers without drama? They are the epitome of drama. And look, this is a safe space, and I just want everyone to know that it's okay. We all fancy teenagers, it's okay. You just don't fuck them. Be a hero and have a wank. Anyone who enjoys the crack in their bio is not good crack. Anyone with their height listed in their bio needs to get the fuck away from me. Chill out, Simon. It's only Saturday. I had a very momentous week. The first week I was on, I received my very first unsolicited dick pic. I was feeling so left out for so many years. All my friends were getting them, and I was like, am I not pretty enough to be sexually harassed? I am, turns out. So this guy sent me the picture in question. I wrote back, what the fuck? And he wrote, I'm sorry. And I said, prove it, and sent him my bank details. He blocked me. Dating is super fun. This one guy asked me if I wanted to be a sugar baby, and I wasn't even offended because I thought I'd aged out of that. And he wanted me to come to Dublin and sleep with him for €500. And I know what some of you are thinking, Leanne, that sounds a lot like sex work. It is, grow up. And I asked him, is there anything else I'd need to do for this €500? And he said, well, I do play guitar. And I think it would be really cool if you sat around and listened to me jam. What am I, Britney Spears having an at-home abortion in 2004? That's what we call a callback. You are very welcome. I've sort of given up on finding somebody with similar interests because I think that's where I've been going wrong. I'd love to go on a date with a quantity surveyor, whatever they do. Or a project manager. That's not a real job. I quite like rich men, obviously, and men with a bit of mystique, you know, when they're not online. I basically want a farmer without an email address, like... And a lot of people have said to me, Leanne, you're so picky, your expectations are way too high, nearly impossible. And I don't think that's true. I just think I want what anyone wants, you know? A 6'5" Norwegian fisherman who makes bespoke furniture in his spare time. He already has children, but their mother of their child is already dead. It's super sad. He plays accordion and walks around in his bare feet. He's super macho, but he loves getting pegged. We're in an open relationship, but he never actually avails of his options because I'm all the woman he needs. And our love and passion for each other just grows stronger and stronger with each passing day until the day we die. Is that too much to ask? Where are you, Sven? I didn't know when it was going to happen. Is that a bra? Oh, it's suspender belt. You said it was a bra. Never trust a gay man. Jesus Christ. The lesbians are winning tonight. What was I talking about? Sven. Oh, God, it's so hot. And I know before anyone points that out to me, I know I'm delusional. I know there's something wrong with me. I went out with a guy for 4 years whose bed was sellotaped together. And cried over him. But I don't think I should be going out with anybody because I'm not really good with noises, like people eating and breathing and ugh. I've broken up with all of my exes for snoring. I know what some people are going to say, Leann, it's not their fault, there's nothing they can do about it, but that's actually not true. What they could do is kill themselves. That's the worst one, am I joking? Better they kill themselves than us. Ayo! I wrote that one today. On some of the apps, some people have their kinks listed, which I find very helpful because it cuts out a lot of time. And I don't really think about kink as sex. For me, kink is more like improv, yes and. Or if you're dumb like me, no but, get on your knees now. Am I joking? I actually wish I was a dominatrix because I love the idea of putting my 8-inch stiletto heels into an old rich man where I'd be like, climate change is all your fault. And then take his money. And I love that somewhere right now in the world, someone is getting paid to do that. And I don't know who you are, but I fucking love you. This one guy asked me to be a sub in Dobby from Harry Potter's voice.
Dobby would be ever so grateful to receive Master Seed.
Hey, do it for the story, you know. Who are you to judge me? But basically, if you see me walking around with a very tall Canadian man with a Harry Potter t-shirt, no, you didn't. I came across a kink that I'd never heard of before. It was called breeding, and I had to look it up. And it said, breeding is where you fetishize sex that can get you pregnant. And I thought, isn't that kind of the OG kink? It's sort of the only fetish for all of human history if you were straight, and as we know, everybody is. And I think it's kind of sad that we've all collectively melted our brains so much with porn that now we need to fetishize sex as God intended, just to get our rocks off. But I can't really remember my brain before the internet. Does anyone? And I have a problem with how a lot of people conduct themselves online. Shocker. I wish everybody in the entire world would turn off their phone notification noises. Like, who are you? Why are you so important? Are you a pediatric surgeon? Like, stop. People with their keypad tones on are sociopaths. You are giving me autism, and I know that's not how it works, but it is how it works. Our generation gets a lot of flack for, oh, you think you're so special, snowflake generation. But it's always your friend's mother who shares, if you can read this, you are special, you are the 1%. No, Janet, you're not special, you're 52, and if you haven't figured that out by now, you probably never will. Selling 2 lamps from Dunelm. Bought for christening. Never used. PM for price. Just tell us how much they are, Sandra. No one's DMing you for the price of those Diamante abominations. Buy and sell groups just turn into mental health forums for each community. Want table? That's it. Need grass cut and sleeve more in the next 15 minutes. Does anyone know what time the 212 goes to Belfast? Just Google it. God, if only there's a search engine for all of this. But alas, there's not. I hate getting friend requests from men I don't know. I like to message them back and go, do I know you? And they get very pissed off. And they go, no, we've never met, but I just like to add cool people online. I'm so sorry I offended you. I was like, right, Simon, I know I'm cool. I don't need someone with DJ listed as their occupation to tell me that, but cheers. Like and share if you're against domestic violence. Oh, no, me, I fucking love it. Jesus Christ. Our brains are not built for this at all. You open your phone to pictures of your niece's first day of school and videos of genocide, and then someone's trying to sell you a hair curler, and we are not built for this. So what do? You buy the hair curler because you're a piece of shit. And then you get all these emails, and the emails are like, your order's been placed, your order's been processed, your order's on its way, your order's on a plane, your order's on a train, your order's trying to get custody of the Waynes back. Your order's crying with a bottle of Buckfast in the car. Your order's outside. If I had a child, I would not want that many updates about it. At Christmas time, there was a lot of comedians giving out about families who would dress up in matching pyjamas and post photos. And I don't really have a problem with this, you do you. But what I cannot abide by are people who share their pre-holiday pints in Dublin Airport. If you do that, I'm going home. I already know you're not going to be good crack to go on holidays with. Nobody cares about the pints you had before you went to Lisbon. There's a lot of people my age sharing really banal photos online with checklists like, dishes done, check. House tidied, check. Dinner made, check. That's what you were supposed to do. Every fucking day. What's next? Wiped my own bum, check. Deleted this fucking photo, check. And I still can't believe that we're still living in a time where people announce when they're leaving Facebook or socials. I am sorry, I'm just getting to everyone's messages now. I was off for good there for a few days. You weren't in a remote village in Nepal, you were at your granny's house in Greencastle and you still have Messenger. Wise up. And some people announce it like, I'm going offline. I'm going to live in a cave. Send a carrier pigeon, write a letter, send a smoke signal, fucking kill yourself.
It's okay, it's just a wee joke.
I'm probably just a wee bit better because I didn't have internet for the past week and I didn't go on about it. But let me go on about it now. It was just, just such a cleansing week. Like I read so many books and realigned my shikaras. And I read loads about the power of positivity. If you just put out enough positive vibes out into the universe, good things will happen to you, right? Because that's what karma is, as white people understand it. All those refugees and children in direct provision, they're just not sending out positive vibes out into the universe. Because the good things aren't happening to you, it's your own fault. Oh, the power of positivity. If you just believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. Maybe some people shouldn't believe in themselves. Every man ever, have you read a history book? We didn't start the fire. And it will always burn. Some of this new age horseshit has leaked into the cosmetic industry. Is anyone aware of the company Goop? It's a cosmetic and a wellness company fronted by actress turned snake oil salesman Gwyneth Paltrow. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's unironically called Goop, which I find very confusing. And my biggest problem with Goop, aside from their lack of scientifically researched claims, are probably their jade yoni eggs, which are expensive jade eggs about this size that you shove up your vagina and do Kegel exercises with. Why? I had no idea. So I asked my friend, because she's quite woo-woo, and she had a bowl of them by the window. She got a bit defensive, probably because I said, what's up with the fanny eggs? She said, well, Leeann, 16th century courtesans used to use these. Right? It's 500 years later, we have contraceptive and toothpaste now. No longer do women have to shove expensive ornaments up their doot. And while we're on the topic, why would I take medical advice from a woman who at one stage in her life was willingly married to Chris Martin from Coldplay? Look, it's your money, you can do whatever you want with it. I personally wouldn't pay £80 for thrush, but that's just me. Americans, as per usual, are the worst culprits to this sort of cult of toxic positivity, Everyone in this room can get rich with my 9 easy steps. It's like if Sean Connery was American. No, we can't. We can't all be millionaires. It's actually impossible because you're always going to have somebody to peel the garlic, scrub the toilets, unless machines really do take over, which I'm kind of in favour of. All these machines are taking our jobs. I'm kind of like, fuck your jobs, Machines never cheated on you. Machines never started any wars. Machines are the only reason half the women in this room can come, up machines. I would be sectioned if it wasn't for machines, put it that way. I need to be plugged into the mainframe. People who've read the book The Secret need to shut up about the book The Secret. Ever since I read The Secret, I just feel invincible. If you want to feel invincible, take some PCP. Ever since I read The Secret, I just feel like I'm the master of my own destiny. Well, if you were, you wouldn't be day drinking with me under a bridge on a Tuesday, would you? People look for meaning all the time where there isn't any. Oh my God, the time is 2:22. What does it mean? It means it's 10:20. You Fruit Loop. Stop it. Oh my God, it's the 9th of the 9th, 2009. 2 days away from the 8th year anniversary of 9/11 class. But I suppose everybody needs something to believe in, you know. And who am I to take that away from anybody? Whether it's like God, science, astrology, Sinn Féin, we all have our fantasies. That joke used to be DUP. And it doesn't really fucking matter anymore. People like to believe all sorts of things. They like to believe they're good people. I don't really think such a thing even exists. I think even Mother Teresa was a dick. A lot of people don't like when you say that though, but she wouldn't give pain relief to her patients because she said the pain brought you closer to God. She was like, She also took money from the mafia, but sure, we've all done that. Who do you think funded this show? I don't really know what it is that I personally believe in anymore. I just believe I'm scared most of the time. I don't really know that much about anything. I'm overwhelmed by everyday decisions. There's too many brands of yogurt. You know, every single day you have to ask yourself, what am I going to eat today? Multiple times a day, and it's so monotonous. You know, in the past, everybody just had the same meaty, watery stew, and it was grand. There was no this, we're going to have pizza, and then pizza, and then... It doesn't matter. It's 2024. There's still people starving all across this world. And I spend 45 minutes on Just Eat every night trying to find the best king prawn fried rice special with free delivery. Our lives are a joke. I think more people ought to take comfort in absurdism because nothing really matters unless you want it to, you know? Who am I going to marry? Where are we going to send the kids off to school? It doesn't matter. Am I living life to the fullest? Of course you're not. Because if you were, you'd be in a 5-star Moroccan hotel, sucking the face off a fella, helped you up with your bags with an opium needle hanging out your left arm. Of course you're not living life to the fullest, but that's okay. Why do so many of us feel like we have to be somebody? Most people aren't even themselves, so I wouldn't worry about it. No one's going to remember me in 50 years. Good, who do you want to be, Ted Bundy? There's not a single thing in this world that you have to do if you don't want to, unless you have kids. But... oh my God, I have to watch this new film, I have to read this new book. No, I don't. Oh, I have to come and do the stand-up tonight. It's fine, the world would keep on turning. There's not a single thing in this world that you have to do if you don't want to. Oh my God, I have to get an STI take. Okay, I take it back. Because as a woman who exclusively sleeps with men in their 40s without pillowcases, I can tell you they are not the ones getting tested. Sure, why would I get tested? I don't have anything. That's not how that works. God damn it. I don't really know. I think what I really, really want to say to people and what I really want to leave people with is, you know, I don't worry about anything because everything is going to be okay. Or it won't be. Either way, you're going to die, so try and enjoy yourself. Have kids, don't have kids, get married, get divorced, quit your job, sell the house, shift your cousin because nothing really matters. Thank you.